Hi everyone, welcome to today's team meeting. It's Wednesday, January 6th, and I'm filming from the park. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me look around here. Doesn't look like there'll be any disruptions other than there's some traffic in the back, but I'm gonna speak loudly. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So today was a tough one for me. I didn't really want to do today's meeting. I wanted to cancel it. You know, you get so excited when you get a meeting cancellation. Yeah, I was this close to giving you one. And the reason was I just felt like there's so much going on that no one's going to want to hear a team meeting. That's not what people want. And then I was talking to my mom. I was like, I should just cancel it. It's like, then I just immediately, because I was talking out loud, I said, I created this idea because I wanted to encourage people when they feel like they're in a tough spot, they're dealing with tough life issues. So it actually would be hypocritical for me to decide that we don't need a meeting today because things are tough. Obviously, if you're in the U.S., you know I mean about the U.S. Capitol being stormed by mobs and reports of other U.S. Other capitals, state capitals being swarmed by mobs. It's just disheartening. It's disheartening, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but one reason it's disheartening to me is because if someone who looked like my brother, who actually has agreed to do an episode with me sometime in February, we'll get that done on siblings. If someone looked like my brother he stormed the Capitol, my cousins, my nephews, just don't think that they would be met with the same calm welcome that these mobsters did. And it offends me. But I'm not going to hold on to the offense because we have a system set up in place to where certain people don't appear to be threats, so they are afforded extra privileges. So I have to let it go. Not in the sense that let it go that it doesn't matter, but let it go from tormenting me. I mean, that person's playing their music super loud. Another example of, the reason why I thought we have to meet, but it's hard to meet, is because I've got people that I love dealing with so many tough things. I have a friend, lifelong friend, since kids. I mean, like kindergarten, like age 6, 5. She's burying her father this week. She buried her father this week. She is having a service for him via Zoom over the weekend. And she has her brother fighting for his life because of sickness. And the level of grief that she's feeling in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of political uproar in the country, that has to be so hard on her health. Of course, there's many things she doesn't want to do either. I have another family friend who had to call the 911 for their family member because they appeared to be unresponsive in their bedroom. It's a tough day for them too. I have other family members that have had several losses this year to death, and they don't want to move on either. I mean, obviously there's a lot of grief still there with them as well. Okay, hold on, my hand's getting tired. They're sad too. So for me to say that I'm not going to have a meeting today, it's not fair, because I just want to show you that everybody gets discouraged. Everybody feels unmotivated. It's okay to take a rest when you feel overwhelmed, but it's not okay to stop and stay that way. You have to keep moving steps, even if it's baby steps. So my baby step today is to have a shorter meeting and to recognize the fact that I'm wearing a hoodie that I had on yesterday, but I'm wearing it again. Hello. I mean, how cute is this hoodie? Can you see how much pattern is going on here? It's so busy, but it's so cute. Hey, different pants today. The designer, it's called Dressed in Joy. I think the name is the designer. I mean, what are you saying to me? So I look at things like I've got a hoodie on that I love, so much so that my daughter is like, what's that? What's that? She wants to point at everything on it to say, what is it? So I can explain it. And I just keep saying that's art. They were writing on my shirt. She buys it. She's fine. She's fine. So I'm wearing the hoodie again. So that brings me joy. My daughter and I had the conversation about pockets. She loves pockets too. That brings me joy. So you got to find it. You got to rest sometimes. You got to give yourself a break. You got to acknowledge when you're grieving something, but you can't stay in the grief. We're not staying in the grief today. So I'm going to have a meeting. The meeting is focused on motivation. You don't need motivation to be successful. People think that you need to be motivated to exercise, motivated to make your relationship work, motivated to keep your house clean. I don't know who this motivation fairy is, but number one, if you're depending on external forces to make you feel motivated, you're not going to stay motivated. You're going to be in that battle for the rest of your life because there's no magic that comes. Everything, I'm unmotivated today. I didn't want to have the meeting. And so what am I doing? I'm having a meeting, but I'm admitting that I had a challenge, and I'm making the meeting shorter, and I'm focusing the meeting and transparently on what needs to be discussed, which is something that's bothering me and maybe bothering you as well. What I'm saying to you is that you don't need it because you already have something within you that you can pull from. If it needs to get done, you're going to do it. You needed to get through 2020. You got through it. Now 2021 is acting up a little bit already, but you'll get through that too. The motivation is not necessary to get it done. To get it done, you decide that this is what has to happen, and even if it's not perfect, not pretty, not awesome, but moving forward, I'm still progressing. That's what you have to cling to. Everything's not pretty. Everything I've done that you might think, woo, way to go, Tara. It didn't come because I felt great the whole time I was doing it. I mean, I feel like, I've had surgeries. The pain is horrible. I might have been in a grumpy mood, but after when I take the medication, I do the therapy, and I get better. Or, I didn't want to start a podcast because I didn't know how to do it, but step by step, I Googled, I made mistakes, I asked people, I learned things. I woke up feeling annoyed, had dreams of making mistakes. Here comes a motorcycle, 2 motorcycles. Maybe it's a connected motorcycle. They look connected. I'm not sure. It looked like it was a motorcycle. And never mind. Let me get back. So many things I've done that I didn't have motivation to do it, but I got it done anyway. So what I'm saying to you is stop feeling like you're not good enough to get what you want. You're not healthy enough to grieve to grieve without falling apart. Get the therapy, have the therapy if you need to. Grieve if you need to. But don't give up. What's your action? Your action today is not to give up. I'm keeping it all the way real. I'm at the park. I wore my hoodie. I showed up. And I'm telling you guys, I love you. I'm with you. Keep watching the team meeting videos and the podcast. I've got my first episode coming up this week. Amazon, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. We'll be talking about similar things, but you won't see my hoodies. So you're lost. But I still want you to subscribe. I'll still do these videos 3 times a week still. Why not? You don't need motivation to move on. Have a baby step plan. You don't want to exercise? Say you're going to do 15 minutes today, 10 minutes the next day, 15 minutes the next day. Some people come behind me. They may make an appearance, but that's okay. Baby steps, y'all. There's no motivation fairy. There's no one coming to rescue you from feeling blah. But I'm here, we have these meetings so we can rescue ourselves. It's doable, and it doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't need to look neat. You don't need to have this track record of being perfect every day. I'm never perfect. I wore this hoodie yesterday. I'm not perfect. But we're moving forward despite our imperfections, despite we don't have the fact that we don't have a motivation fairy. or motivation in feeling, right? Exercise is an example. Wanting to punch somebody in the face when they make you mad, that's an example. Yeah, you may not want to deal with people, you may want to punch them, but I'm going to ask you to keep your hands to yourself. Maybe that's your victory today. You didn't punch anybody out. You didn't catch a case. How about this park, right? January, Arizona. All right, guys. Thank you for joining today's team meeting. Don't feel like you need to be motivated to be moving forward. Let the traffic go by. I'm with you. We're together. This is where we learn, laugh, and grow. Okay? Friday, we meet again. Let's talk a little bit about self-love. I like to have self-love Fridays. Be on the lookout for the podcast. It should be released, and you should get a notification if you subscribed. If you didn't subscribe, subscribe. The Team Meeting Podcast. I love y'all. Thank you for listening. All right, I'll talk to you soon.